hit make my people wanna jump. Don't this hit make my people wanna jump.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
This is pathetic.
Where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap?
So whistle while you work.
Life could be worse.
This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down.
I'm bag of pixie dust. Contraband.
Join in, folks. It's yodeling time.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
It's such fun to hum a happy working song. A happy working song.
Magic mirror on the wall. The fairest one of all.
Oh, bitch, you killed Kenny.
Kenny.
You fat hoe.
I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
If you haven't subscribed to Lorraine yet and you're watching this, you suck.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is Reina Creole, and of course, this is the Spice Lounge, where we are coming at you with the hot takes and the spicy conversation with what's going on in pop culture this week. And right off the bat, because this probably is, no, not probably, it is the hot topic, and that would be season 2 of Rings of Power. And who else but tell you, he's one of the folks that I trust about Lord of the Rings and all of that and Tolkien, because I'm just a Tolkien normie. I'm a Tolkien tourist, but I know what bores the heck out of me and what doesn't. So welcome aboard and back to the channel. Views with Hugh's Agenda Free News. How are you doing, my dear?
Wagwan me good bread the butter.
Man, my Jamaican patois really, really off right now.
That means what going on, Miss Lady? You so very fortunate.
Oh, well, it's going on. It's going on pretty good. It could have gone on better if I hadn't watched Rings of Power season 2, first 3 episodes. But sometimes it's like a traffic accident. You know you should keep driving, but sometimes you just got to slow down and check out the train wreck, because just Lord, we're going to talk about that because we got Hughes for a limited amount of time, and then we'll jump into the other stuff in the hot topics, because man, I swear, as soon as this show is about to drop, a whole bunch of stuff starts coming out. So thank you. I see 23 of you folks starting to come in here with the chat. Thank you so very much. Glad you are all here with us. Of course, as the thumbnail says, made by CJ, my thumbnail guy, and I see him down there in the chat. DJ. Amazon's Rings of Power, they just, I swear, all they want to do is burn money. And I'm gonna rant here for a little bit, then I'm gonna let Hughes take it over from there. I'm a Tolkien normie. Fantasy was never my jam, really. I liked sci-fi, but there were things about it that I could appreciate with the writing, and especially the Hobbit, the cartoon Hobbit series that That was freaking awesome. But I could respect it. And I had friends who would read Tolkien and all that. So I'm a
Yep.
normie. I love the Peter Jackson movies. I could just sit there and watch it and just get sucked into it. And I have, the books on tape. So you just listen to how powerful Tolkien's writing is and how he writes his characters and how you get so wrapped up and invested in the characters that by the time they're ready to roll out and go on whatever quest they're going on, you're like, all right, I gotta go because I gotta see. I cannot wait to see what happens. This show, I don't care what happens. I don't want to see what happens, and it just doesn't. It doesn't cease to amaze me that just as a normie, I'm completely turned off from this series. So I can't even imagine, Hughes, as you're a big fan of Tolkien, how you feel about Rings of Power. And even worse, the fact that they dragged it back for a second season.
I mean, it's no surprise for me at all. I mean, yeah, I was disappointed and annoyed, and at the same time, like as I found out what their intentions are and stuff, as well as how long they're planning to bank on this. I mean, 5 seasons, and there's media outlets claiming, will there be a season 3 of Rings of Power? Will there be a season 4? They got it slated for 5 different seasons. Okay, they got it for slated for about 5 different seasons, almost over $1 billion and stuff, say the least. And you know what? Jeff Bezos, it's his money and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
this is the same guy who got a divorce from his wife and stuff. He had to pay billions of dollars in alimony and stuff, took care of that like it was nothing, and married the next woman and everything, while he was wearing an open shirt with a champagne glass of her following with him and his assistants following along with it. But at the same time, I mean, we should have all known about this, but then again, I mean, he wanted to go ahead and have his own version of Game of Thrones, and what better to do it with Lord of the Rings, or so-called Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And the fact of the matter is, he got everything wrong. But they got everything wrong from the added characters that they made up off of him, to like the change of the character types as well as the story itself. Now, visually, I didn't watch the show, but I've seen the reviews on it. Visually, the different locations, they look nice. They don't look Peter Jackson nice, but they look nice. And then second of all, they had a Tolkien scholar from season 1. They went on ahead and fired him and stuff as a consultant because of the fact that he stated that this is not Tolkien,
right?
And stuff. So yeah, and not to mention, to top it all off, like they finished it with people who watch it from the beginning to the end with 37% of people. So that means 63% of people didn't even care about it. Okay. So yeah, it's like, even I knew it was going to be bad because this is around the same time where She-Hulk was on Disney Plus and everything. And I was also talking about this when my channel first started up or restarted and everything. So yeah, this is like no surprising. Also, so far, season 2 is, if you check with Rotten Tomato score, it's at 53% for the audience score.
Yes, I have seen that. And I want to thank Valiant Renegade for saving me some time, because I was going to go back and I was like, well, if it was 902,000K this year, what was it the year before? I couldn't remember exactly the number, but I knew it was nowhere near what season 1 was.
Well, that's where they got the internet from. I mean, there's people of like former corn stars out there and everything who stuff video footage is still on the internet. Bet your bottom dollar that they're still going to have the numbers from Rings of Power season 1 up there for like how many viewers actually tuned in. And they boasted with that too. And yes, I said former corn stars. If you know what I mean, then you know. If you know, you know.
I am, you're 100% right, Hughes, of course, with Rings of Power. This is Jeff Bezos's passion project. This is his baby. So it's pretty much money is no object. The cartoon where they show like the cartoon character just shoving money into, into the fire and burning money. That's what this is. And not for nothing, when it's your vision like this, don't be surprised if there's a good percentage of people that don't like it. And even more so, the fact that normies like me, yes, I'm going to say normies that are like me, look at this show and it's like there's nothing that reminds me of Tolkien at all. The little bit of Tolkien that I know, and I'm watching the show and it's just like I fail to see any part of Tolkien in it. And I'll say this right off the bat, especially if you are new to my channel. If you like Rings of Power, you go ahead and you like Rings of Power and you love it and you just enjoy it as much as you possibly want to. I am not going to fault you for liking it. My job is to tell you what I think of it and what Hughes thinks of it and other people think of it, and you can take it the way that and use it as you will. But there is just no way for me personally, with what little that I have read of Tolkien and what I've loved of Tolkien, to watch this, because you've got characters that do not really interest me. I do like the oh my gosh, they're not the trolls. What the heck are they? The dwarves. I do like them, but
She called them trolls.
I should call them trolls. I should. Although one of them looked like she kind of did have a little bit of a beard now.
No. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna put you on game right now. The dwarves, the female dwarves, they did have beards and stuff in the Hobbit books as well as Lord of the Rings books and stuff, and even the Silmarillion. But like that was a big controversy for season 1, because the female trolls like Disa, she didn't have a beard and stuff. They should have just had her look like at least like the Rick Ross and stuff, or the dwarves and all of that. Right. But at the same time, that's a big controversy and everything. And also the trolls, as for those of you all who don't know, the trolls are the ones who are with the orcs and stuff, the giant like monster like beings and stuff with the orcs and stuff. But other than that, like, yo, if you think that Rings of Power is bad, wait till you see the Ward of Rohirrim. And that's something being done by Peter Jackson. That really got me disappointed. Freaking bait and switch.
I've heard bits and pieces from folks like you and like Fatal J, who are like big time Tolkien fans. I hear you guys talking about no. So I'm like, I'm not even planning to watch that. But one thing to add, I did see the 3 episodes that they released. I actually saw them twice. And I did. I know. I'm a glutton for punishment, but I did. I watched them twice. The reason why is the first time I watched something through to see what my initial reaction is. The second time I watched it through with an even more critical eye, I didn't enjoy either one of those watch throughs whatsoever. But this is how much that I will tell you about the watch throughs. It looks like they're actually trying to somehow, I'm looking at Hughes' face frozen. Like, you did what? Yes, I will suffer for that. It looks like they are trying to make Galadriel likable and still failing. I'm sorry. I'm not liking her compared to how she is written in the Tolkien novels. I don't know who this chick is, and I'm not interested in her.
Oh no, this is the Mary Sue Galadriel, as they call it in the comment, in the chat and everything. And it's like she's more masculine. She wants to be girl boss. She's the Mary Sue now, and don't even get into like the different struggles and stuff of how she became who she is now. The Tolkien version of Galadriel, the original, the Galadriel, the triple OG Galadriel, she's wise, noble, gentle, yet strong, yet fierce and stuff, but not warlike. You've never seen her going into war dressed in armor and everything. She has her own power. Why? Because of the fact that she's one of the high elves and stuff that were born during the time of the trees and stuff at the light. witnessing the lamps of the world and stuff, because that's like those who actually was born at that time before the first age even started in Order, which is the name of the earth and stuff in Tolkien world for Lord of the Rings and all of that. That's how they get their that's how powerful they are and stuff. And the ring and stuff that she has and stuff that helped to solidify that power to make her much stronger in the first place. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, this Galadriel in here, annoying, hard to be around, hard to watch, not appealing. Okay, and like you said, unlikable. Okay, and I don't even watch the show, but I've seen the different reviews and everything. And you know what? The reviews are far more entertaining than this show itself. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't only get Galadriel wrong; they also got Elrond wrong and stuff, because of the fact that they put him as a weak side character and stuff. When in the books, he's actually seen a lot of stuff that actually will tear somebody apart and stuff, mess them up mentally, to the point where the books even describe Elrond as someone who has the same look on his face because of the different things that he witnessed in war as well as his life and stuff. And he's a half elf who chose to remain elf. And his brother Elros and stuff, his twin brother, chose to become a man who went on ahead and ruled. I had in my head the island that shit like a star, Numenor. Okay, he was the first Numenorian. All right, and he was also the part of the bloodline. He's the elder bloodline given off to Isildur, which is then given off to Elrond. Okay. They basically messing with all the characters and stuff. And guess who they're also, and I understand if you don't know this character, they're introducing Tom Bombadil in this season.
Yeah, I don't know who he was.
Yeah, Tom Bombadil and stuff. He's the one that's been there ever since the beginning, since the Valar and stuff was on Middle Earth. He doesn't really have an origin, doesn't go into details about his origin, but at the same time, he's able to put on the one ring from Sauron and stuff. Nothing happened to him. He's not corrupted. He doesn't disappear. He's him. Okay, he's him. He's he's an older man with a really attractive wife. Okay, and it's like he's saving the hobbits and stuff. He came this close to being in the Lord of the Rings movies, but some reason Peter Jackson decided to go ahead and take him out. Why? Because they had the cards and stuff, or playset cards and stuff for the Lord of the Rings and stuff, and he was a part of it, which showed that he was going to be a part of it, but they took him out, along with Glorfindel. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bird in the chat. Goldberry. He's married to Goldberry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw this dude. I'm just like, who the heck is he? I'm like, okay, I guess he's gonna do something else later on the show. But that sounds like a real shame that they didn't include him in the Peter Jackson version just because he wasn't in that set. But there's two things that I want to get to that, again, super pissed me off about this series. Go ahead. First one, and it's better this. First one is they pulled the Book of Boba Fett. All right. We're trying to make the orcs more likable, humanize them, make you feel bad for the orcs. I'm sorry. Everything that I read in all the movies that I saw, orcs was just going through there, just freaking slaughtering people. Okay. There was nothing redemptive about them whatsoever. As far as I see in the films, they were pure evil from what I read. That's the understanding that I had. Now, you go to this show, they just want to raise their families. That's it. They're just misunderstood. That's all.
That's just the tip of the iceberg right there. That's just the tip of the iceberg right there. If you think that the family-friendly orcs and everything trying to raise their families is just messed up, you should hear about what they're going to have planned for Sauron this season. They're trying to make it more relatable.
And you know what, Bosco, daggone it, you had to say that, didn't you?
Of course he did. I was actually waiting for somebody to say that, to be honest with you. But yeah, um, but yeah, like they're trying to make the villains the good guys, and the good guys the villains. Okay, now let's go ahead and take it back to the first eight. Okay, got Morgoth.
Mhm.
Okay, he's a Valar.
Right.
He's the one that brought in Sauron, corrupted Sauron and stuff, and made him the lieutenant and stuff under him. He took over Middle Earth. Okay, Middle Earth at the time was called Beleriand and stuff before it actually became, the Middle Earth that we know from the Second Age and the Third Age from Lord of the Rings and all that. So he went on ahead. The elves were discovered, and the elves were born in Valinor, and also some elves were awakened in Middle Earth. Okay,
Mhm.
now the elves in Middle Earth, some of them stayed, some of them went to Valinor, headed west, but then there was also some that were caught by Morgoth and corrupted by him to the point where they became orcs. So the origins of the orcs and stuff, they were elves, okay? But later on, they were there was some of them that were still became that were elves corrupted by Morgoth becoming orcs and stuff, but then later on after Morgoth, there was them that were created or even born as orcs and stuff too. But the fact of the
Mhm.
matter is that they decided to go ahead, and this is what I've told you about earlier and stuff. They took something they don't fully have the whole rights to and change it up and make it their own and stuff, because they can't use parts of the story from Tolkien that they don't have the rights from. And also, if you don't have that many rights for something, you only have a few pages of dependencies and stuff for one novel. What's the point of even making the show in the first place? Goodness well that you're going to have those who are actual Tolkien fans and Tolkien fans of the lore and the stories and everything. They're going to go ahead and then speak out against this to the point where they're not going to watch it. They're going to tune out into it like completely. And that's why they have less than 1 million people watching worldwide.
Yeah, because there's very few people who are interested in watching this niche version. Usually I'll say for most normies, we want to see Tolkien. We want to see the Tolkien that rolls into all of the films and the actual lore. That's what we want, we want to see. Not the Cliff Notes, not even the Cliff Notes version, just some back of the napkin notes, and you decide to make a show out of this.
Yeah,
It's
thanks for the clarification, Dylan Bosco in the comments. Where I did mess up, stated that they were created and everything. This whole story got me all messed up. But yeah, they weren't bred, they were created and stuff. They were corrupt, they were works or that were corrupted by Morgoth and stuff during the first age.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then also like the way you see the Urukai and stuff, those how they were created and everything. But the fact of the matter is that you know they didn't even have any female. Scratch that. They probably did, but they weren't mentioning the Tolkien. They weren't mentioned much about in the Tolkien books and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, they went on ahead and took this and trying to make them likable and relatable and stuff. No, if they're corrupt, that means they can't be redeemed. Okay,
Mhm.
and the fact of the matter is, they can't be redeemed or forgiven by the Valar. And they're making the elves all arrogant. Now, granted, the elves, a lot of the elves were arrogant, but at the same time, you have some elves out there like Galadriel that were really noble, along with Elrond, who was also noble too. But like Elrond, he stood beef with elves, the dwarves and elves were beefing and everything. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But the fact of the matter is, they this show, they're getting it wrong, and they simply don't care, because they're trying to get the new audiences who don't know anything about Tolkien and his works and stuff, and they're going to put this out there as if it's actually canon. And the fact of the matter is, not canon until some of them at least read the books for themselves. And they're telling the people, read the books and stuff. When the people read the books, guess what? They're going to expose you. You don't want to tell them to read the books, because they're going to expose you with the books. Plain and simple.
And even from and I'll just say kind of black box thing here. Even if I knew nothing about Tolkien, this show is one of the worst written shows I've ever seen. Dialogue is stiff. You don't have any investment in the characters. The color palettes are off. It's overall, it's not even a well run show at all. And just a case where you have this money pit, and obviously Jeff Bezos is going to keep dumping money in this to like get people watching. But the other thing that pissed me off, yes, this is the Daily Beast. This is the gaslighting that they're saying. That Rings of Power, it's great. It's so good. I mean, granted, I loved House of the Dragon. Granted, season 2 of House of the Dragon did have its problems. I got some problems with that, but I'll definitely tell you this much. I could actually sit through House of the Dragon and have it not insult my intelligence the way that Rings of Power continues to do. Now, speaking of insulting my intelligence, why are they trying to make us empathize with Sauron? Oh, and even better, in this episode, and I'm forgetting the dude's name, the one where Galadriel was like out there in the water and she got rescued by that dude, but apparently that dude is Sauron.
Halbrand.
Yes. Why are we obsessed with Sauron in this? And again, making us feel bad for Sauron when he's supposed to be the real big bad.
One word: shipping. They're trying to get him and Galadriel to have to get the fans to do it like a whole shipping thing where they become a love interest and stuff.
I can't.
And y'all should know that the Daily Beast is a shield site for the places like Disney and any other company out there that puts out there any IP that has like a lot of wokeism in it. It's a shield site.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up, so you folks can see the context in which they are spinning this. They're saying this is great, this is wonderful, it's amazing, and it's just like, I'm sorry, but I do not think we are watching the same thing for the most part. And they're going to keep saying that it's great because, we don't like it, your ists, your phobes, your whatever. But I will say this much: if they try to do this quote unquote shipping thing, there is nothing that even makes me want to see these two freaking get together. And yet again, just like with Rise of Palpatine, you have this romance between this chick and this dude who is just slaughtered freaking I don't know how many people and seems to have no conscience. And I guess that's how that's supposed to be attractive. I don't know, but it's not to me.
I just want to say something right quick.
Sure.
You see, you got the 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. In the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie, the 1 ring to get them, the 1 for 2, the 1 for many. That's all it basically is. And it all thanks to Jennifer Salke, as I call the Kathleen Kennedy of Amazon Studios.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see. I know I can't, just like the Acolyte, I can't watch this show anymore. There is nothing redeeming about it. At least it is to me. And to normies that think like me, it's like, no, I'll go watch something else. I don't really think I'm gonna, nah. 5 seasons. I can't
even get the Balrog right.
I just can't. Well, Hughes, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Any last words with respect to bracelets? I don't know. Bracelets. Of cluelessness, insanity. I don't know.
How about bracelets of cowardice? Because there's
like
no
that.
power here. But the fact of the matter is, like, y'all just go ahead. Like, there's like a lot of like lore YouTubers out there with Tolkien lore and stuff, I suggest y'all go ahead and follow a channel called Men of the West. They'll give you everything about Tolkien works and stuff, from the Silmarillion all the way to the Hobbit, all the way to the Lord of the Rings, and it's a really good channel. All right. Basically, they're also criticized. They're also as critical as us when it comes to Rings of Power. There's some things they like about it, but then there's like a lot of other things where it goes against the Tolkien lore itself, the books itself, to the point where it would mess up their mess them up too. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Mainly I'm not only talking about Rings of Power, I'm also talking about Star Wars, the mess with Kathleen Kennedy, how she got another year and stuff with the contract. Basically, I'm out there exposing the agenda of the different entertainment companies and everything, as well as sharing insights of the culture war and everything. Channel's still growing. Go ahead and join Views with Hughes, your Agenda Free News. This is Jerome Hughes, and be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.
All right. Thanks, Hughes. Everyone go subscribe to Hughes with Hughes Agenda Free News. Check out his channel. You are welcome. You are welcome, my dear. Anytime. Well, folks, let's see. We've got a bunch of awesome comments. I'm going to go through some of these a little bit. First of all, 26 of you folks watching. Thank you so very much for being here. Sort of Poopa says they left out the 5 rings for the polar bears, the bane of seals. And CJ says the show either needs to be much better or much worse for me to watch it. Yeah, for me, I have zero interest. There's nothing that's drawing me. Even something like costume design, which I love, it absolutely sucks in this. It's not all that great. And thank you, Laura Amato, for subscribing. I sure do appreciate that. Thank you so very much. And let's see. So how about that Concord game, huh? We're gonna get the hot topics now. now that you mentioned that. So we've got like 3, actually 4 before we get to the Acolyte, but let's jump to this, because some folks, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on in Hollywood, but let me tell you, some folks are saying some really based stuff. So from Variety, Jenna Ortega says women deserve their own franchises and not just gender flipped spinoffs. I don't want to see like Jamie Bond. And I tell you, Jenna's been saying a lot of base stuff of late, because I know personally I am really getting sick and tired, and I've been sick and tired of this for the longest time. Why is it you want to do this gender swap just to do it and say, oh, we need to put more women in this? It's like, are you serious? Just make your own thing. I don't want to see a female James Bond. I don't want to see that. You know? So yeah, is she single? I believe she is, CJ. Sounds mildly feminist. Really? I don't really see it like that. Preach, tell him, Jenna. Yeah, exactly. Jenna's trying to take over the Scream franchise, and I'm for it. Same here. So she says, I love that there's a lot more female leads nowadays. I think that's so special, but we should have our own quote unquote franchises. I don't like it when it's a spinoff. I don't want to see like Jamie Bond, I want to see another badass. Which I agree with her. I mean, first of all, you want to write something that's kick-ass to begin with, that people are going to be drawn to. Then if you do decide to say, hey, we're going to make it female-led, okay. So how are you going to do that but make it so that it's appealing to everybody and not talking down, to people. So that will be interesting. Mila Kunis, who's Janet Bond. Sorry, the worst female bait and switch was Ghostbusters 16. I watched that and just pissed me off. Totally pissed me off. So make something original. Don't swap it out. And go from there. I mean, a great female franchise. Okay, it was funny. I liked it. I admit, was Bridesmaids. Okay, I freaking loved it. I loved that movie. The only thing from Paul Feig that I actually liked. We tried the Bond swap, didn't work out. The movie sucked. I refused to see that movie for that reason. They removed every bit of testosterone and took off James Bond's balls and put them in Latasha Lynch's purse. I love the Bond franchise for the toxic masculinity pool that it is. I don't need a female Bond. And I don't think they realize how many women that pisses people, that gets pissed off at stuff like this too. Let's see. Hey, D Nice Gamer, good to see you. Good to see you. And thank goodness there's at least one young starlet with some sense. I was beginning to despair between Ziegler and Amandla. Yeah, they are out there. I'm forgetting the young lady's name who was in Ms. Marvel. Okay, she actually said, somebody asked her about how to fix the Marvel universe, and she basically paraphrasing said, write stuff that's good. Write characters that people can relate to. And it was so freaking based. I'm like, from the mouth of babes, literally. Yeah, I'm not watching that Bond movie like ever. I'm Skyfall, that's it for me. And I had my issues with Skyfall, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. It was a nice send off. I didn't want to watch anything past that. So we already got Janet Bond in No Time to Die. Yeah, Mark Daly. I'm not watching that one. Ever since I first heard about what they were going to do with James Bond, I said no, absolutely not. And yes, Fire Dragon, you are right. Kill Bill 1 and 2 is a badass female film and very, very popular. Very popular. Yeah, I heard that too. That's the other reason why it pissed me off. Northman JH says, I am a huge Ian Fleming fan. Did you watch the, was it Ungentlemanly Warfare? Is a long ass name, but the movie cameo of Ian Fleming in there was just amazing. Anyway, if they go Jane Bond could work if they go Red Sparrow, and for one movie show Jane Bond struggling with 00 training to get her to O. The last O is because she goes Red Sparrow. That would actually take a talented writer to do. When you get writers who are more interested in making a film that's really good as opposed to making a film to push an agenda, that's the thing. So we go from Jenna Ortega to my boy Matt Smith. All right, Matt Smith. I hadn't really been gotten really into Doctor Who, but once I saw Matt Smith in not Rings of Power, shame on me, House of the Dragon, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go check out Doctor Who now. So Matt Smith says, I'm not sure if I'm on board with trigger warnings. And for those of you who don't know, trigger warnings are, that some scenes of this film may be disturbing or out of context or, outdated. I mean, like sticking a warning on the Aristocats animated movie, saying that it was stereotypical. I was like, come on now. It's jazz music. Duh. Anyway. He says it's okay to feel uncomfortable or provoked while looking at a painting or watching a play, which is true. That's art that evokes, that evokes a response. But I worry about everything being dialed and dumbed down. We're telling audiences they're going to get scared before they've watched something. It isn't being shocked, surprised, stirred the point. Too much policing of stories and being afraid to bring them out because a climate is a certain way is a shame. And this is actually from Variety. And I 100% agree with them. Who were those warnings for? And why did they feel the need to put on trigger warnings? I look at it like this, and this is just me. If you have to put a trigger warning on something, you don't trust your audience. There used to be a time back in the day, I know everybody, I don't know. Back in the day when artists would put their stuff out there, and it's the same thing with like art or with theater or whatever, they would put it out there and let the audience make up their mind. Let the audience decide what they saw in it and what they didn't see in it. You trust your audience to make up their mind about what it is that they saw, that you put out there in the ether. That's taking a risk, right? Now Hollywood just wants to put the trigger warnings on. This might make you upset. This might make you upset. This might make you shouldn't think this way. You shouldn't, think that way. Like for some reason, trigger warnings on Looney Tunes. Like for some reason, it's bad. Bugs Bunny is running around in drag. That was part of the joke. I tell you. Thanatos Felicitas, hello, says the only trigger warning I like is for flashing lights, epilepsy seizures. Yeah, that's a technical thing. So that totally makes sense. But putting warnings on stuff like, again, warnings on stuff like Looney Tunes, talking about quote unquote outdated thinking, stereotypes, all of that. Come on. It's like watching, what's a favorite? Like the Little Rascals. Okay, I loved watching that. Granted, the Little Rascals had some racist stuff. Okay, but you could read that, watch that and find out. People knew that it was something for the times that it was in. But you don't trust people. It's like ridiculous. I think trigger warnings were for things like PTSD. Yeah, things that are categorized like that. But when you have like smoking, oh, that pisses me off. They're just like, oh, you might see smoking in this, and they're smoking tobacco. What else? Getting yeeted. I'm like, what? The trigger warnings are longer than the title of the film. It's like, come on now, really? I tell you, if you need trigger warning on Aristocats, you're a small kitty. Yes, that is for sure. Matt was incredible as the Doctor. There's a reason he was chosen to play a centuries-old Time Lord despite being in his mid-20s at the time. Relieved to hear he's not insane and fairly sensible. I haven't gotten to Matt Smith's episode as a Doctor. I've seen Christopher Eccleston's episodes, and I'm forgetting the first Doctor. I know, shame on me. But I'd already decided that after I watch Matt Smith's episodes, I'm done with Doctor Who because I don't want to see Dr. Karen. But yeah, I'm glad to hear how based he is. So I love it. Let's see. Emily Kruger says, when I was a kid, I watched something that was before my time. Even I understood that some of the stuff was outdated, but I understood that it was from a different time, and I still like it. Yeah, again, I'm going to use the example of the Little Rascals. My nieces and nephews love watching that. Little kids doing stuff that, they weren't always supposed to do. One episode, they found this Chinese kid who was working at a laundry or something like that. And my niece was like, do all Chinese people work at the laundry? This is a kid's question. I'm like, no, honey, that's a stereotype because this is from the 1930s. So that's the difference. But guess what? That's a teachable freaking moment, Censoring it would make no sense to do. No sense to do. So thank you, Matt Smith. And thank you, Jenna Ortega, for being based as I don't know what. I can't wait to see Beetlejuice too. I'm going to see that tomorrow night. So let's see. From that, we go to what has to be the shortest game deployment I have ever seen in my life, coming from that Park Place. PlayStation pulls the plug on Concord, shuts game down after less than 2 weeks, and offers full refunds. I have no idea. I got to crack up with this. Hang on one second. Well, I'll put this question out there before I answer someone else's question. Does anybody remember any game in the history of gaming of a title being either pulled from stores or yanked out of like the Epic Games or Steam store after less than 2 weeks? Because I don't think I have ever heard it. Would have played a great young Palpatine. Possibly, but I don't think Matt Smith should be anywhere near Star Wars. He's way too good for Star Wars. He don't even need to be over there. Nope. Chef Nation says, good thing I downloaded it for free and never played it. I just saw the art. Maybe this is me being superficial, but I just saw the art and I'm just like, no. And my time is at a premium for gaming. So I'm like, no, I don't think so. Tom F says, Reina Creole, not one game I can think of since we're back to the 70s. So let's talk about this one right here. All right, so let's see. Written by John F. Trent from over on that Park Place, one of my colleagues over on that Park Place. Firewalk Studios announced it shut down Concord servers and will no longer be selling the game less than 2 weeks after it was released. I don't want to play as this chick. In a blog post, Firewalk Studios game director Ryan Ellis announced that this time we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6, 2024, and explore options, including those that would better reach our players. It sounds like to me the better option to reach your players should be to just redo this whole freaking game all over again. Honestly, I've seen a ton of MMOs fail before even making it to a full release, but no, not post release. Yeah, this is nuts. Hey, Abu says, hey there, all. Hope you all is doing good. We are doing great. Good to see you, El Presidente. Let's see. Yeah, they willowed that game, man. They are trying to memory hole this sucker so fast. I've never seen anything like it. Now, I will say the art that I started seeing about this game before it came out, I'm just like, really? This is what y'all want to do? And this is one of my biggest pet peeves, one of them, when it comes to modern gaming as I'm getting back into it. I'm like, why are these game development studios obsessed with not that attractive looking women, overweight women, not as something you can select and change it, yourself in the character creator, but give you characters like that. Weak, wispy looking men. No, it just never ceases to amaze me. This is what they want to do, and then expect to sell games. Compared to, like, say, Stellar Blade, where you can play as, like hot chicks. That's pretty much what I want to do. X Definite is the next. That will be 3 Ubisoft games. DOA. Yeah, Ubisoft. Man, Ubisoft is imploding. There's another game studio that's going to be imploding too. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. The more Ubi fails, the more Ubisoft will fail. People do enjoy a good S show. Yes. Yes, I do. And I am loving seeing this. So let's see. He also shared that the company will be offering full refunds while we determine the best path ahead. Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for the PS5 or PC. If you purchase the game for PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. I wonder if this sucker was available, like, say, at the worst place to buy games, and that would be GameStop. Like pressed copies, like pressed on discs. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that. But this okay, I'm probably going to misgender. Get over it. This chick looks like Baron Harkonnen's 90s style cousin. With respect to the clothes, I swear she's gonna hit a button and start flying. I can't. I just can't. They are Thanatos, and that aggravates me, because back when I was, doing a whole lot of gaming, everybody wanted to play as hot chicks. Everybody did. But now you want to do this not as an option. That's different. They're not putting this in as an option. They're putting this in as, like, this is what you have to choose from, and you're gonna take it and you're gonna freaking like it. Oh my, yeah. I can't. Yes, and this game took 8 years to develop. 8 years. There is no way. What game takes 8 years to develop? I mean, the only one that I would say 8 years to develop and I would give a pass would be Hogwarts Legacy, and I don't even think that even took 8 years. But this, I just, nah. Yeah, that's why I said Baron Harkonnen. If you haven't seen Dude, you got to check it out. I just know. They still give male protagonists abs, but won't give women a waist. Shenanigans 0117. Yeah, because the male gaze is bad. And they don't want to acknowledge the fact that women like to play as attractive women too. They hate us. They hate us. Bosco says, I would not put that on my resume. Can you imagine? Yeah, some people in that position. Yeah, I've worked on that game, unfortunately. But I learned some stuff from there and just went on with it. Yes, they are. Thanatos, you're 100% right. They are intentionally making female characters ugly. This is why I call this out every single time I see it because I'm sick of it, and I will continue to call it out because how dare you try to sell me something like that and I can't be a hot chick in there? For what? Because you don't like pretty women? Or I don't know. I feel like telling some of these people, and I need to tell them, it's like, look, I'm sorry the mean girls were mean to you in high school, but what does that have to do with me playing this game? See a therapist about your issues. Don't use the games as your therapy. Screw that. So let's see. The game was plagued with what is it, like 10 people playing that on Steam right now? Anyway, the game was plagued with negative feedback from the onset, with many players decrying the game for its ugly designs, transgender ideology with the inclusion of pronouns. So I didn't see anything yet about transgender or pronouns. I just saw ugly ass designs and I was like, I'm out. Just no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this. So this is from Cabrutus, who says, so the bleep F robot has pronouns in the next Sony game. And it says he, him. I can't. I just can't with this. Oh my God, literally a playable tank. See, here was my thing. I'm like, who? Yeah. I wonder if Sweet Baby had it. Well, probably something akin to Sweet Baby making these games, because it's not a coincidence that you see this stuff going on. So is this woke going broke in practice? Yes. Faster than I ever thought possible. I've never seen that. Never seen that. You don't feel represented? No. I don't see a big girl with a small waist in there. Then I feel represented, but nah. They can take this game a shot. They keep my mouth shut. See, this is why I have to say this. I know. I'm cold and blunt sometimes because you know what? If you want my money, this is me. If you want my money, especially for a game, because this stuff is not cheap, and you shove this crap on me, you deserve to get clowned. I mean, for real. Let's see. Instead of addressing the concerns, Firewalk Studios chose to ignore them, of course. Let's see. I'm personally excited for the IP, for folks to develop and delve into the Galactic Guide, blah, blah, blah. If there's something they choose to do, for these vignettes to come out on a weekly basis. So they were going to be pushing information on a weekly basis for this crap game. I can't. Now, granted, I do play a game that does have some weekly stuff that's put in it. Of course, that's Disney Dreamlight Valley, but no, I can't. Look at this. 508. I don't know how many are playing right now, but I've never seen numbers. Well, yes, I have. I've seen some numbers this low, but hardly anybody wants to play this crap at all. 43 players. Yes, I am laughing. I'm laughing. And the reason why I'm laughing at this, when we move on to our next story, the reason why I'm laughing at this is because rather than make a kick-ass game that people want to play willingly, you make a game to push a message. And you want to make a game to push a message, okay, that's well and fine. But when the marketplace says we're not paying for it, guess whose fault it is? Your fault. Not the gamer's fault. Your fault. Part of me wants to play this game, but I don't have the freaking time. I don't have the time. But I tell you, Concord gets everything that's coming to them because dang it, how can you release a game and not even within 2 weeks it's so bad and it hardly sells that you got to offer people refunds for this thing? Dang. Hey, Kiss My Grits says gaming was so much better when it was just 8-bit and we couldn't wait to get our Nintendo Power magazine every month. Oh, I remember the Nintendo Power magazine. Yeah, I do remember that. Man, that reminds me, I got Super Princess Peach I need to play, and it's still in darn shrink wrap. I know, my life's been busy. Okay, well, we're going to go from one gaming studio imploding to another one, and it couldn't happen to a better studio, and that would be Rocksteady. So coming from Eurogamer, Rocksteady hit by layoffs after Suicide Squad killed the Justice League underperforms. One staff member made redundant while on paternity leave. Okay, so I don't see why that last part is important necessarily. There's plenty of people who get laid off even if they're on maternity leave. It's like, why the heck should we even include that? They should offer us money not to buy. Some people are probably gonna buy it as collector's items. Stuttering Craig did. From Side Scrollers podcast, if you go on X, he's got a post where he's got 2 copies of it that he bought. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Oh, how can I get a refund on a free download? My PlayStation was violated. So yes, because Rocksteady, because Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. For folks who don't know, that game was so bad, people were posting the end of it. Like, what happened? When I saw what they did to Batman, I'm like, that's freaking disrespectful as I don't know what. And they were proud of this. But let's remind people, and to remind all of you, guess who is a client of Sweet Baby Inc.? Look down here. Rocksteady. They are one of their clients. And yes, Sweet Baby Inc. worked on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That made their asses famous. Because what Sweet Baby Inc. does is we'll call them the Al Sharpton of the gaming industry. Al Sharpton / Rainbow Coalition, they go into companies and say, it's a shame if somebody called you racist, something like that. But tell you what, you hire us and we will shield you from all of that for a price. That's what Sweet Baby does. Like, let's look at your game. You got all these scantily clad women. Oh, that could be problematic. You don't want to be called sexist. You don't want to call it misogynist. You don't want to be called racist, right? You don't want to lose gaming sales, do you? But you know what? You hire us and we can help all of that go away for a price. That's pretty much what they are. Hey, Going Shoki, thank you so much for that $4.99 super chat. I sure do appreciate that, my dear. Says these folks are missing a fundamental life lesson. Sometimes you gotta eat some crow. It may not all be yours, but you've got to eat it nonetheless. Yeah. It's like that old bullfighting joke. Some days the bull actually wins. Yeah. When you make games that people are interested in, or you're trying to preach to people, or you're trying to drop in all of this messaging that no one gives a crap about and it's not germane to the story, of course people are going to be annoyed. But some people have to learn this stuff the hard way. And Ubisoft already is, but Rocksteady, yeah, now you have to lay people off. And to make this even more interesting, and let me see if it's down here a little bit more. Here's my favorite. We're going to talk about this. The company's QA department has seen its size almost cut in half over the past month. Eurogamer understands. From 33 team members to 15, with poor sales of Suicide Squad directly cited as a reason for its restructuring. So apparently you've got another staff member that was made redundant in the middle of their paternity leave. They got rid of them, but it looks like the majority of the cuts are from QA, and this is so not good on so many freaking reasons. Yes, kiss my grits. That's exactly what they are. Sweet Baby Inc. is actually an extortion racket in the gaming industry. Yes, they are. I will die on that hill. It's the same MO. If you go to Sweet Baby Inc.'s website, and I think I showed you guys this, where this is what they do. What they do, a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. It's a shakedown racket, okay? That's exactly what it is. They want to help you make sure that your games are compliant for modern audiences. Yeah. How's that going for some of you clients of Sweet Baby Inc.? Like, let's see, like Ubisoft, Rocksteady, Square Enix. You guys remember a game called, what was it, Fable? Was it Fable? No, Forspoken. That game was so bad, they yeeted the whole subcontracted game dev studio. That game did so freaking bad. Got 2K, Xbox Game Studios, EA, Electronic Art. Yeah, these are not little names. Okay, and they're triple A values. So yeah, kiss my grits. That's exactly what Sweet Baby Inc. is. So if people want to know what in a nutshell what Sweet Baby Inc. does, that's it. Now, granted, not exactly like extortion, but not really. These companies don't have to hire them, but they're strong-armed. You're right, extortion. They are strong-armed into hiring them. So in order to make up for this loss of sales, they're going to gut their QA department. Okay, so game devs will be down 50% of the people to QA their stuff. I mean, I get it. Usually they're like, you can get more QA, more than we can game developers, but I'm going to call this right now. Rocksteady is going to have even crappier code come out, because there's no way you're going to tell me as a QA you're going to triple possibly my workload. I don't think so. QA probably like, screw this. I'll let this slide. It can blow up in production as far as I'm concerned. That is not smart. I could see if they did a 50% hit with development and QA, or I don't know, like 60-30 or something like that. But either way, it's not going to end very well. Hey, Keely Chow. Good to see you. Roll Tide. So yeah, couldn't happen to a better company. I mean, It sucks when anybody loses their job, and it always, and I've been in this position, it always seems to be sales get crappy, the C-suite keeps their jobs, and that's the lower level folks who wind up getting shown the door. Yep, 3 times the bugs. And I was one of those QA people where, man, I would hand out bug reports like Tic Tacs, to the point where developers were scared. If they found a bug that came from me, yeah, they knew something was up. Sweet Baby Inc.'s tactics is exactly what the Human Rights Campaign has done to strong arm corporations with their corporate equality index. Yes, exactly. Why do you think it's like, as soon as Sweet Baby Inc. got exposed, remember, they were like locking stuff and going after people, and yeah, because they got exposed for what it is that they do. You know, it's like the mob. Nice shop you got here. Shame if something were to happen to it. But you pay us protection money and, you know, nothing will happen to you. You know, exactly. Hey, Dave C. Good seeing you, my dear. Good seeing you. Hey, who doesn't love a job where you sit there and be like, okay, here's my list of where you went wrong. I did not like being a developer. That got on my nerves, but I loved being QA, man. I would get some snarky ass developer who were like, my code's working fine. I'm like, no, it doesn't. No, it isn't. You want to try it again? Show exactly where it doesn't work. I had zero fear. I'd roll in there and say, you got this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. And if I can crash your stuff 3 times in a row, yeah, I was that person. Not to be me, but the developers who, had a bit of sense, they would bring me in like before the official QA cycle. And they're like, can you look at this? Can you look? I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can look at this. We can help each other out. I would do that. Hey, California Dreamin' says, Lorena, my girl just got off work here. Who's craving a cold brew? Oh, you know I am. It's hot as heck down here. I love cold brews. All right. So, yeah, that is Rocksteady. Couldn't happen to a better company. AAA gaming continues to burn down and implode. But you know what? That's what happens when you get away from making games that people want to play, and you make games that you think people should play. Petitions don't mean nothing. Vote with your dollars, and that's exactly what people are doing. When the money dries up, that will force them to change. Shoot. I'm going to play Lego Harry Potter. At least I know I'm going to get me some fun playing that game. Yes, break it early test. That was my specialty. How did you do this? Well, I pretend I'm Homer Simpson. Well, players shouldn't do that. Players are going to do that and do that exact very thing. And there's nothing like being in a meeting where something blew up in production and they're like, QA, how come you didn't catch it? Oh, here's my receipts, how I caught it several times. And you know what you said? We don't have the time to fix it right now. You just stop making me right. Well, speaking of exercises in futility, death throes, activities are as productive as a monkey trying to mate with a football. From your Collider, petition to save the Acolyte already has hundreds of signatures from fans. The fact that it says hundreds, that's what I'm cracking up about. I'm like, wow, are they real? Are they bots? I don't know. But to catch folks up, the Acolyte was canceled for a second season. Amanda Stenberg spurged out in an Instagram post about it, basically thanking all of the people who love the show, and to hell with you far right conservatives who didn't watch enough of it, and that's why our show got canceled. So that's what happened there. And the copium has been of epic proportions. It is it is so entertaining to see. So entertaining to see. Yay, the power of many. Fan, aka YouTubers. Oh, Kimberly Ann Hart, I gave it a chance. I totally gave it a chance. You like it, that's great. I gave it a chance more than I should have. And it's just like, no, it is, no. There was so much wrong with that show. It should, even for the people who like the show, y'all still got done dirty. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, 100. Yeah, hundreds times, not thousands, hundreds. And CJ says all 5 of them. All 5 of them. Yeah, let's say for more. Oh, no, I can't do it. And just like CJ said, yeah, I gave it 3 chances and was just like, no, I can't expose y'all to that, and I couldn't expose myself to that. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Kiss My Grits, for that $19.99 super chat. Thank you so very much for that, my dear. I appreciate it. Hey, LRC, 2 things. What do you know about Electronic Arts? Didn't realize they are HQ'd in Orlando, good company to work for. And have you heard about the new villain show at DHS replacing McQueen by summer 25? What do I know about Electronic Arts? I am aware of them. As for good company to work for, from what I heard, they used to be. But here's the problem with Electronic Arts. The gaming industry is on real thin ice. So all I can say is that I've heard that they're not a bad company to work for. They're not an excellent company to work for. They're kind of in the middle, but just with the state of gaming right now, it's like just kind of be wary. I almost applied to one position at Electronic Arts, but I decided not to. It was just a part of their industry I wasn't really all that interested in. But yeah, exactly. And by thin ice, yes, imploding and on fire. Finance, gaming, you probably don't want to jump into that right now. At least wait till after the election is over. Just saying. That's my observation. And yes, I did hear about the new villain show at DHS coming next summer. Much quicker for them to do these shows than to build attractions. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we still have to see how the Little Mermaid production is going to turn out, and I don't know about that one. I mean, the dress is hideous. Yeah. Thank you, Kiss My Grits. I appreciate that. Also with EA, Kiss My Grits, just go to Glassdoor and read the reviews. That'll help you out. Yes, Madden sucks. Yes. As a matter of fact, I think it was on the Madden team. I think that is the one where I said all right, well, let me read through this here. So per Collider, fans have mobilized support of the canceled Star Wars series, with the Acolyte petition garnering 700 signatures in 24 hours. That is not something to brag about. The Acolyte garnered a following for its diverse cast led by Amanda Stenberg and promising storyline in the High Republic era. Remember, folks, this is Collider. Okay, this is Collider, and the cope is crazy. What following, considering that show was never in the top 10 for the Nielsen ratings? Never hit the top 10. Didn't even blip on the radar at all. And again, what is this thing about bringing up the fact that it was a diverse cast? It didn't, well, if that's all you're interested, then yes, I can see why it developed a following, that cult following that it did. Leslie Headland had plans for what season 2 could entail, and the finale left room to explore more stories with Osha. Did she? Did she have plans for season 2? I didn't think she had any plans for a season 2. You want to know why? Okay. Usually when Disney has faith in a product, they put merchandise out. I have seen 0 Acolyte merchandise in the parks. Season 2 was never given. Season 1, I think she had some dirt on people to even get season 1. Is the mermaid possibly 700. We're going to check out the layest stats on this petition. So let's see here. While the poor reception from some viewers, along with more malicious review bombing, was evident throughout the show's run, the swift and proactive reaction from fans shows a dedicated fan base that was eager to see what Headland and company were ultimately cooking. I want to know if these people are smoking what they're cooking right now. I don't get it. Why is it they always say review bombing when people don't like it? And no, it's not review bombing. Well, in some cases it might be, but people just saying something to say stuff. But when you have that many people who did not want to watch the show so bad, and Disney / Lucasfilm is on record as saying it's because of low ratings, and you can go and check the Nielsen ratings and see exactly why it didn't place. You can see why. Yeah, they do. Collider shows hard for the money. So it's hard for the money. That's for sure. Oh my gosh, really? Okay, for all its faults, The Acolyte was praised by Smith and other fans for fielding an inclusive cast of characters, as it explored a much earlier era that had been relatively untouched on screen. Well, there was a reason why it did that. The High Republic hasn't really been selling anything for the most part. I've seen High Republic books that have been on clearance, that have showed up at like Big Lots. That's Disney Star Wars, and hardly anybody is interested in it. The Acolyte, not only did it break a whole bunch of canon rules, but the writing was just awful. No. I get PTSD thinking about this, but this show, it was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, if you want to talk about something that I like with respect to Disney Star Wars, well, I didn't really like Andor, but on technical merit, I could say that the show actually looked good and seemed pretty well. Just not my cup of tea. Acolyte, nah. Bad writing, bad dialogue. I feel really bad for Jae Jung Lee. I mean, I don't think he wants to put this on his resume, but he's a big enough of an actor in South Korea anyway, so this is like a tourist stop for him. Hedlund cast her wife in a major role in a woman she was hot for in the lead. Her old boss will be proud. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you ever see that interview that Leslie Hedlund did with Amanda Stenberg, that's the kind of giggling you do around a guy you like. Potentially the one, that you're smashing at the time. It does not seem like a professional interview. There's some shenanigans. I'll say alleged. Seems like it to me. But I'm just saying. I've been in Hollywood and I've seen a lot of crazy ass stuff. If I hadn't seen it, I would tell you're dreaming if you said karate is involved with Star Wars. Yeah. Yeah, and Carrie Ann Moss. Yeah, again, total waste between Carrie Ann Moss and Jae Jung Lee. I'm just like, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm really sorry. Really totally sorry for y'all. But for folks who want to know what we're up to right now, okay, so change.org, 849 people signed today. I wonder if this changed a little bit. Let me try to, shoot, I don't even think that moved. 65,763 people signed this petition. Next goal at 75,000. What does this really do? Nothing. Doesn't do a darn thing. Renew the Acolyte. Lucasfilm is not going to renew it just because a bunch of people, or a small subsect of people that this show spoke to, don't want the shipping to go away. You're not getting it. Okay. You're not getting it at all. I mean, you can't push this. People are just so not interested in it. And, show media is gonna show, but not only just the media, show media. Manny Jacinto, who is in the show, or was in the show, says making Star Wars Acolyte Season 2 is his life goal. So apparently, Star Wars actor Manny Jacinto, now keep this in mind, this is from IGN. IGN is another show site like Collider and Screen Rant, just so as you know. Digital LA showed a video of Jacinto at Atlanta Dragon Con, which I have not been to in ages. I miss that place, where he was asked what he wants to achieve before dying. Season 2 of The Acolyte, he replied to cheers from the audience. How loud were those cheers? I mean, was it like 4 people in the back? Because come on, y'all have been at those conventions where they'll ask the actor some off-the-wall question that some really small base likes, usually shippers, well, weird shippers anyway. And they're like, yeah, of course I do that. And you're the 5 people in the back like, woo! And everybody's looking like, well, shut the heck up. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the Disney Plus show was canceled just a month after the finale was released, following a middling viewership and critical reception. I wouldn't say middling viewership. The fact that you couldn't crack the Nielsen top 10, that's not middling. That's like way, way freaking down in the basement. Like hardly anybody's looking at it. Makes no sense. Let's see. So yeah, that's what Manny Jacinto wants to do. And Lee Jung Jae, I can't believe I got that wrong. Freaking love you, dude. Lee Jung Jae said he was quite surprised to hear it wouldn't get a second season, while creator Leslie Hedlund was thinking about even before season 1 premiered. Now, here's the thing with Lee Jung Jae. Squid Games season 2. I think that wrapped up pretty recently. He's got a ton to do in South Korean film and television. He's a huge freaking star over there. He does not need Star Wars money at all. So that little passing line was actually kind of interesting. They're more like shipwreckers. And CJ says, help decanonize the Acolyte petition is up to 17K and got 7K people to sign today. See? Yeah. Yeah. I am just convinced you've got a certain group of people. Of course, you got the show media where they want to keep trying to make this happen. They keep trying to make fetch happen. No. The Acolyte was not all that great. At least not to me. If you're going by numbers wise, it was not all that great. Ahsoka, which is getting a season 2, actually did crack the Nielsen top 10 and actually did that pretty regularly. But at least that show was entertaining, and folks actually did, for the most part, kind of like it. It was okay. But at least we watched Ashoka, and at least you could make fun of it, but there were parts of it that you could kind of like and everything, but not that. So the pure numbers for the Acolyte, not enough. And Lucasfilm, Disney does not have money, to waste. They are cutting stuff out because it just didn't work. So sometimes it's like that. Hey, Bonzo Kilborn says, hail your majesty, flying solo. Yeah, for the latter part of the show. Views with Hughes dropped in the first part so we could talk bracelets of power and all that's going on. I like to do this show to connect with you guys, and as my friends drop in, I pop them on the screen. So hopefully Ron is doing okay. Got caught in the rain out at Epcot, unfortunately. He would have been able to make it, so I hope he got home good. I can fix him, they say. I can change him. Yeah. And Disney stock is, man, it's not in a good place. It's really not it really was not in a good place. And the Acolyte, that show seemed like it came out of nowhere. And purely from the numbers point of view, and I can't stand sippers. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Y'all are a scourge on fandoms. That's all I'm gonna say, and it's true because I've been through enough fandoms with too many of y'all. Shipping doesn't pay the bills, and the Acolyte not makes. What is it? The Acolyte, what was that? 300? Was it 300 million? Or was it 80 million? I think it was 300 million. I think. And that's the quality of show that they got. Meanwhile, House of the Dragon, which had, I think, half that budget and looks freaking fabulous. That's a shame. CJ says, actually, it did come out of nowhere. They were allegedly on strike during that time. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it got past a strike. I have to go back and find out. Either the scripts were written. I think the scripts were written already, but they were also shooting overseas. They were shooting in England, and I think that was some kind of way around that. So that's a good part of history to go back and look up. I'm pretty sure that Park Place has something about it. I think those scripts were written already. Well, folks, I do believe that is going to wrap it up. Oh, one more thing before I forget. And I do want to show y'all this because I am quite excited about this. Time to turn things upside down. Jinx returns in the final season of Arcane. Official trailer is going to drop on the 5th at 5 a.m. Pacific time. Tune in to the world premiere. I loved Arcane. I cannot wait until this comes out. This is actually coming out in, I believe, November. It's going to be on Netflix. I've never played League of Legends, but I enjoyed the heck out of watching Arcane. So looking forward to that trailer. And I totally enjoyed this. So just to give you guys a heads up, especially for all you folks who like Arcane, yes, I will be reviewing Arcane. I reviewed it last season that came out. It was a bunch of fun. And if you want a recommendation on something to check out that on the whole was actually pretty good, that new Terminator Zero anime was actually pretty good. But yeah, can't wait. Man, I can't wait for Arcane. Woo! Well, folks, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here on the Spice Lounge. I love running down the pop culture stories with you guys of the week and kind of talking about stuff, getting you guys impressions about what's going on. Let me vent all of this stuff. Arcane members watch along, come on, you know you want to. There will be a watch along, but that is going to be adjusted per membership level with Arcane. So yes, there will be one. I just have to announce it and set that up. Okay. All right, folks. Well, time for me to call it a night. Thank you guys so very much for being here. You will see me, of course, on Saturday morning at 12 p.m. Eastern for the Resort Recon live show. We're going to be talking about what's going on in theme park news. Most notably, why can't people control their badass kids at Disney? I mean, you had a great photo op set up in the Muppets Brewing Lab the first day, and somebody's kids went and destroyed it. So we're going to talk about that and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on with regards to a theme park. So you guys take care. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I appreciate it. You guys have an amazing rest of your night, evening, morning, wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye.